Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the one-stop shop for everything Phillies and baseball related. I'm your host, Ethan Rauch, alongside my co-host, Ben Gendron. We present you.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And we both present Keeping the Faith, a PhilliesUnited podcast, episode 6 here. Now, Ben, since our last episode last week, so on Saturday, a lot has happened in the baseball world. Not just Phillies.
Yes, lots has happened.
Yeah, a lot has happened. So we're expecting a good show today, discussing a whole lot about the topics that have happened, including some Manny Machado visits to some teams and some big trades and free agent signings that have happened. One just recently, one just yesterday.
Yep.
Now, first things first, before we go into the topics, we're going to try to get these out every weekend, preferably before Sunday, sometime before then, so you all have time to watch it one final day before the school week starts, except, of course, this week. We got Christmas coming up, which is great.
Yeah.
Best time of the year, best time for baseball. Rumors to come afloat. Ben, I hope you have a Merry Christmas, dude.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah. Now, I hope that the Phillies have a Merry Christmas this year with some great player additions, but we'll dive into that later. Now, we're still good. All right. First things first, to start out the information, we have Andrew McCutchen's press conference that happened earlier in the week. Now, I don't know about you, but I have been really, like, when we acquired Gene Segura, I was hoping for a press conference there, but sadly never happened. Signing Andrew McCutchen. I finally got my press conference, man. It was great.
Yeah, it was great. He seemed very passionate about Philadelphia. It seemed like he was going to come here and make an immediate impact.
Yeah, it was great. Like, Andrew McCutchen's like one of those dudes who he never gets hurt, and he's just a great player and a great person overall. Yeah. Like, if you haven't seen the press conference, it's still available on like Twitter, on the Phillies Twitter account. You just gotta scroll down a little bit there. It's great. I highly advise watching it. He said a lot of great things.
Mm-hmm.
And also, cool thing to note, players weren't required to go to this press conference because it is the off season. But Rhys Hoskins was in town. He was able to attend. It's pretty cool seeing that happen.
Yeah, when your big guy comes to show up for new free agents, it's huge.
You gotta love Rhys. Like, you just gotta love him.
Yeah.
Now, with Rhys, I have this slated to be later on, but since we just brought him up, he has been talking with free agents. He announced briefly, like, if they want to come to him, talk to him about Philadelphia, he's willing to. Now, we know Rhys Hoskins and Bryce Harper, they share an agent in Scott Boras. So you got to think they've been talking a little bit about Philadelphia.
They seem to be very good friends.
Yeah. So that's that. We'll dive into Bryce Harper later on, but now we got the big dude that happened this week, headlining all the news and rumors. Manny Machado, the shortstop third baseman, looking for his new home this offseason, has his market limited to 3 teams now. There's no mystery team at this point. That's kind of been debunked. It's down to the White Sox, Yankees, and of course the Phillies. Now, that makes us 1/3 chance. I like our chances. I do like our chances.
I do like our chances too. I really think it's between us and the Yankees, and I think that the Yankees are ahead of us right now, but we're going to have to offer Machado a lot more money, and we're going to have to offer him a year or 2 more because there's no reason for him not to go to New York. I mean, it's a bigger media market, and he's going to start, and they will be able to contend just like Philadelphia. But if we offer him more money and a greater period of time, I think he will come to Philadelphia.
Yeah. Yeah, he should. Like, on the Yankees thing, well, I'll talk about that after we talk about the visits, while we talk about the Yanks visits, but Manny Machado this week, he visited his 3 suitors' ballparks, the cities. First off, on Monday, he visited Chicago White Sox. Now, not much is known about that visit that we're aware of. We weren't informed about much, but we heard all visits went well, so that's good to know. Now, man, for New York, it was kind of interesting, at least how I saw it. He only met with the Yankees for 90 minutes. Now, there was no specific explanation on why it went so short, but maybe you could think that Machado, since he already has an interest in the team, maybe that could be why, but you never know. And there were some slight rumors that it might have been to like the Yankees owner needing to attend a funeral, which I can see that. Now, on Thursday, this was the big day for Philadelphians. Manny Machado visited the bank, Citizens Bank Ballpark.
Yes.
Now, this was great. I loved it. It was amazing. And funniest thing I think that represents Philadelphia the best. When Manny Machado and his wife and his representatives went up to the entrance, drove up to the entrance, there was an electrician who was on lunch break, and he got a selfie with Manny, of course. Yeah. You know that? And he said to Manny, "Hey, Eagles won the Super Bowl. Yeah. Come here, we won a World Series. Come get the money, Manny. Come towards the money." Which I love. I just love, like, that's one of the things I love about Philadelphia, just the quirkiness and the way the fans just communicate with some of the players. It's really amazing.
It is.
Now, what we know about the meeting, we of course saw the picture of Manny Machado in the Phillies uniform on Fanavision. It's really cool. You'd expect that to happen with the Yankees as well, happen with Corbin. So it happens with all the major free agents who visit the ballpark. Now, it lasted 4 hours. Of course, this was longer than the Yankees visit, but that might have been because he wanted to become more affiliated with the Phillies because, he played in Baltimore, so he played the Yankees a good amount during his tenure there. So I feel like he was more used to their ballpark than our ballpark, which I can see why it lasted so long.
Yes.
And of course...
Big Chungus.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
The Manny Machado has very close relations to a lot of the people in our front office because a lot of the people in our front office came from Baltimore, and that's how we learned Arrieta. So I can really see Machado bonding with our office, and that influences his chance in coming.
Yeah. So that's about it for the Manny Machado visits. Now, on that note, Manny Machado did recently announce that he is going to be waiting until the new year to announce his new home. Now, the way I see this, we'll dive into this slightly right here, is that there have been rumors that the Phillies will go above and beyond to land this dude, and that they highly prefer him above Bryce Harper. In which, at this point, I kind of agree. I'm preferring Manny at this point, which we can talk about later on.
I think that I don't think Harper's going to happen. And I think the Phillies know that Harper's not going to happen. And I think they're putting all their eggs in the one basket. Yeah. And they're just fighting for Machado. And
plus, despite the controversy with Manny Machado, he plays a premier position. So and of course, with the connection with him, I can see that as being reasons why we prefer him over Harper. Now, again, Manny did announce he's going to wait till the new year. And with the Yankees part of this, there have been rumors that the Yankees are hesitant on giving Machado what he wants, which is a 10-year, $320+ million contract to break the record that Giancarlo has. Now, I see this, if it's true, I see it as a great opportunity for the Philadelphia Phillies. Because let's just say, hypothetically, Yankees, they don't want to go above 8 years, the rumors say. The rumors say the Yankees are hesitant on 8 years to $300 million. So let's say the Yankees offer 8 years, $290 million. That's a great offer. I'd take that in a heartbeat, but of course, Manny's wanting more money. So, and we have stupid money. We have stupid money. So, in that situation, if I were Matt Klentak, the owners, and the general manager, I would offer Manny Machado something like 11 years, $360 million. Now just look at it.
11 years.
Yeah, 11 years, $360 million. Now look at this from this perspective. 11 years, he would be 37 by the end of his contract. I feel that's better than him being like 39 with like a 13-year. So if he gets worse, if he starts to a player of his caliber, I think he's gonna be all right in his early mid-30s. And at 37, that's kind of going to his upper, so I feel like that's a good slate to end it. And of course, it'll give you the upper hand with the Yankees' offer of 8 years in this scenario. Now, going back to the comparison between the two offers, that's 3 more years that the Phillies would offer than the Yankees. Now, that's enticing. Now these days, years are becoming more preferred than actual money, it seems, because like you see with Patrick Corbin, he wanted that extra year to be set in stone, so he knows he's part of a contract for that extra year going into his like 35 age season with the Nationals. Now, both these players want record-setting contracts. They're going to want 10 years, and the Yankees offering 8. I don't think it's going to be enough. Now, there have been rumors that Machado does, of course, prefer New York. It's pretty obvious.
Yes.
But you got to...
But I think
yeah.
he prefers the money over the location.
Yeah, you got to know that, like... and with the 360 to 290, that's $70 million. That's $70 million. That is not baby money. That is big boy money. That is enormous. So the difference between those two offers is $70 million in 3 years. That's insane. I feel like even if he preferred the Yankees, like you see Patrick Corbin, he preferred the Yankees, but he went towards the money. He went towards the years. I feel like this is where Manny Machado is going to step in.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, the White Sox, I really don't see as a threat, considering that they're in the market for both, so they may be willing to go for Harper, knowing that we might be out on him if we get Manny. So I see the White Sox as like a potential landing spot for Bryce Harper, along with the Dodgers, of course. So in that scenario, I really don't see why we shouldn't go that length, because Manny Machado, he's a premier player. He's a once-in-a-lifetime player. Like it doesn't happen. You never see a 26-year-old premier player hit the free agent market like this, who plays a premier position like third base. You don't see it happen.
Yeah. They need to take advantage.
You need to take advantage of it. I think this, while it's a risk money-wise and year-wise, I think it's worth it. And maybe if you're downgraded towards the end of that contract, maybe you find a way to get rid of it. There's a bunch of opportunities, but I feel like he's our best shot to win now. It would give our infield the defensive boost for some of our pitchers like Jake Arrieta, Zach Eflin, Nick Pivetta, Vince Velasquez, who, while their ERA was high, the lack of defensive goods did hurt them in the long run.
Yes.
So that would ensure our infield defense potentially to be one of the best in baseball, really. Like, I can see that if we sign Machado. Now, that's about it for Machado, at least for now. Let's move on to some more things, just moving forward. It was confirmed by John Heyman that the Phillies did, in fact, meet with Boras about Harper at the winter meetings. I didn't really think there was any controversy about that, but apparently there was. Now, Corey Kluber market. Indians, despite them already offloading some payroll, they're still looking to potentially move Corey Kluber, and the Phillies have been named as a team in the mix, along with teams such as the Dodgers, Reds, etc. Now, what do you think about?
I don't see Kluber coming to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
At all.
I see like him going to the Dodgers.
As much as I want it to happen, it's just I don't think it will. I think the Dodgers are huge, and I think that even the Reds have a little bit. I mean, they made a trade that shows that they're trying to contend now.
Yeah.
And they unloaded a pitcher, and they have no real ace in the rotation, and Kluber could be that guy.
Yeah. We'll talk about that trade later on once we get into our off-season check-in, which a lot has happened since the last podcast, so that'll be lengthy in that. Now, of course, Andrew Miller has been rumored to be connected to the Phillies, but as we learned this week, he was one of the many free agents to find a home, which wasn't Philadelphia, sadly. It was St. Louis. He signed on with the Cardinals.
They might win the World Series.
It's a problem. I could see it happen. Like, really, anything can happen in October. Like, you've seen wild card teams go to the World Series. Anything can happen.
That division is insane.
Yeah, it's going to be a dogfight in the National League.
Is.
Both the East and the Central, it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
It's going to be insane. Now, with the loss of Miller on the market, it limits you to relief pitchers such as Zach Britton, David Robertson, Craig Kimbrell, just name a few. Now, I'm thinking maybe we should focus on someone like Craig Kimbrell. Although we do need a back-end lefty, I feel like Kimbrell, despite him wanting a lot of money, I feel like his market is so small because of his request for money. I feel like we could probably swoop in and get him, obtain him for like 3 or 4 years, which would be great because although he had some trouble in October last year in the postseason, he's arguably one of the best closers ever at this point in his career.
Yes, he did struggle a little bit in October, but I mean, it was really his first postseason, and you can expect that from a relief pitcher.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's very consistent in the regular season, and hopefully with the proper coaching, he'll be able to calm down in the postseason.
Yeah. And plus, it would ensure you that, like, you move someone like Sir Anthony Dominguez, who I do feel like he's going to be our future closer, but I don't think he's ready for that role to be every day yet, to be the setup man alongside Hector Neris, who was great at the end of the season last year, and really lines our bullpen up to potentially be one of the best in baseball. Because at this point, our bullpen is really improved since last year.
Yep.
Now, that's about it for the normal news that has happened.
There was one more thing. It doesn't really affect the Phillies, but it does affect baseball in general. Michael Brantley to the Astros.
Oh yeah, that's part of the off-season check-in. We'll get into.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's about it for the general news. Now I'm calling this segment kind of like the off-season check-in, just everything baseball with like the trades, free agents, all that. A lot has happened in the past week. Now again, as Ben was starting to get into there, Michael Brantley signed with the Astros 2 years, $32 million. I kind of like this move for them. I do.
He's a great player. I mean, he's got it all. He is just very fragile and he gets hurt a lot. But if he can stay healthy, he's a great player.
Yeah. That's the Astros. Now, next, Wilson Ramos, the Buffalo, signed with the Mets. 2 years, $19 million. This one kind of hurt. Really.
Yes.
It's really painful to see, but he's going to be playing every day there. And really, at this point in his career, he just can't play every day. He's too injury prone, and he's just worn down. Like, I would have liked to see him go to like an AL team like the Astros, but.
And DH. He's got to DH. He's got to start to DH. I do not see him getting to this year healthy. I don't see it. Sadly enough. I don't either.
Now, moving on. Angels signed Matt Harvey, 1 year, $11 million. I like this move.
I wanted him. I wanted Matt Harvey. I thought he would be a good fourth pitcher, but I mean the Angels scooped him.
Yeah. Now, he was better with the Reds last season, despite the stats not really showing it, because of his horrendous Mets tenure for the 2018 season. Good pickup for them, for the Angels who do need pitching. Anibal Sanchez signed with the Washington Nationals, 2 years, $19 million. And I'm not really sure about this move because it's the Nationals, but it's another part of the Braves that is left. And the Braves were so lethal, and Anibal was very good for the Braves. And at this point, I don't think the Braves are the top dogs in the National League East anymore. I think they're going to be highly downgraded this next season.
Yeah, I mean they do need help in their rotation, and losing Anibal Sanchez sure didn't help them. Yeah,
like their rotation. This isn't being a biased Phillies fan, but it's bad. Their rotation is bad. Their bullpen is bad, but they do have a bunch of young pitchers who really. They have potential, but they haven't proven themselves yet. So I really think the Braves are going to go through like a down year, but I still see them being very competitive with the National League East due to that very good lineup.
Yes.
Now, Daniel Murphy signed with the Colorado Rockies, 2 years, $24 million.
He's
going to hit 330. He's going to hit 40 home runs. It's going to be insane. Oh Lord.
They have a great infield.
Yeah. Andrew Miller, of course, we mentioned earlier, signed with the Cardinals. Joaquim Soria, not really a big name, but wanted to include anyway, signed with the Athletics, $50 million, 2 years. Then here's some trades, 2 big trades that went down. First one, the lesser of the two. 3-team trade with the Rays, Athletics, and Rangers. Now, as the casual viewer, you might not know these names, but they were surprise names to me too. I didn't really, because they're mostly minor leaguers, but still a trade nonetheless. Rays got reliever Emilio Pagan, the 38th overall pick in the 2019 draft, and minor league pitcher Raleigh Lacy. The Oakland Athletics got Jurickson Profar, the main man of the trade, formerly Rangers utility man, second baseman, who would fill the hole.
Season.
Yeah, he would fill the hole that Jed Lowry's going to leave in Oakland. And of course, the Rangers received minor leaguers Brick Burke, Kyle Bird, Yoel Espina, and Eli White. It's not big names, but hopefully they'll do good out in Texas.
Yeah.
And now the highlight of this week, in my opinion, this huge trade that just went down yesterday between the Dodgers and the Reds. Now, Ben, what do you think about this trade?
I think that just solidified Bryce Harper signing with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Because they unloaded 2 of their 3 starting outfielders last year and a quality left-handed pitcher, and got back a extremely old pitcher with an extremely high ERA and 2 unknown prospects.
Yeah. Now, what were you saying?
So basically, it was just a salary cap dump to open up space for Harper, in my opinion.
Yeah, now here's what I think about this trade. I liked it. I liked the trade. Dodgers got rid of Matt Kemp, who, of course, had a great year, so you got to take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. They got Yasiel Puig, left-handed pitcher Alex Wood, infield Kyle Farmer. And, of course, the Reds got... the Reds got those guys. The Dodgers got Homer Bailey, which he's expected to be released, if not released already. Relief pitcher Josiah Gray, infield prospect Jeter Downs. Now, of course, you could think this opens up Bryce Harper a little bit, because they did empty their outfield a little bit of 2 prime players in that, and it did relieve some salary. But while I still see the Dodgers as a potential landing spot for Bryce Harper, we have to realize as fans that he is going to get a record-setting contract, potentially in the $350 to $400 million range, 10 years plus. It's likely to happen. Of course, maybe with the limited market for him, he probably could get less. But I do see him getting somewhere in that range. And with the Dodgers, now, I'm not really downplaying their interest. Like, of course they're interested, but I'm downplaying the potential of them signing someone like Bryce Harper. They did release some salary, but if they sign Harper, let's say Harper's going to get $35 million per year with this big contract. That's going to put them over the tax, and the Dodgers really are trying to primarily stay under the tax as much as possible. And if you sign Bryce Harper, you're going to be over the tax, and they don't want that. But of course, the potential of like a backloaded or front-loaded contract to just get the big part of it over with early, I could see that happening with someone like the Dodgers. And of course, you got to imagine someone like Bryce Harper prefers the big stage in LA other than Philadelphia. And while some may not realize this, but the Dodgers have a very, very left-handed heavy lineup. Such as Max Muncy, Cody Bellinger, just to name a few, along with the outfield. So you got to imagine like someone like Bryce Harper, who's going to cost a lot and who's going to add another lefty to their lineup. Are they going to really want to do that? Like, really, I forget where I heard this, but someone like A.J. Pollock, for example, a right-handed bat who has, despite the injury, proven himself and won't get that much, or at least to the point of Bryce Harper, money this offseason. I feel like someone like him could work extremely well instead of Bryce Harper for all that time and all that money for them.
Yeah, I think Pollock would be a good fit. But also, if you look at the Dodgers lineup, half of their lineup can switch hit, which you don't see a lot. I mean,
yeah,
I
didn't realize.
Grandal.
Well, Grandal might not be back. He's a free agent.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of do expect him to come back.
Yeah, and on top of that, if you don't sign someone like Bryce Harper, like for the Dodgers, it gives you room to trade for someone like Corey Kluber or JT Realmuto, just to bolster your lineup and your team in other different ways than just this one primarily right fielder superstar player who will help you in the long run, but you have a potential to to help many more spots in your organization than just one with the superstar. So now this is just how I view it. I still view the Dodgers as a potential probably landing spot of Bryce Harper, but it's going to take some probably contract manufacturing trying to get that contract the way they want it, and to make sure they have probably a more right-handed hitters, because that lineup, despite like you said, switch hitters, is still going to be primarily left-handed.
Yes.
But yeah, he's very likely to go to the Dodgers, White Sox, or us. I see those as the three teams that are left in the Bryce Harper sweepstakes. Now, let's say we sign someone like Manny Machado and the Dodgers prefer to go the route of like A.J. Pollock, J.T. Realmuto, Corey Kluber. That leaves the White Sox, and I'm not sure the White Sox are going to be willing to pay that much for Bryce Harper. So his value could go down really fast depending on what happens.
Yeah,
it could plummet. It really, because his market it depends on Manny Machado in a way, because two of the teams in on Harper are in on Machado, and like you gotta know that like if we sign Manny Machado, we're not gonna give Bryce Harper like 350 or 400 million if that happens. Like we're not.
Yes,
Same with the White Sox. So really, it all depends. Like once Manny Machado's decision happens in 2019, I think we'll have a bigger picture of the Bryce Harper market as a whole. Now, we've been going for 27 minutes now. That's about all I have. You have anything else to add, Ben, before we end it off?
No, that's pretty much it. We covered pretty much everything.
Yeah, so now I'm not sure how fast the news is going to be this week due to the holidays, but if anything happens, we'll be sure to get you out. And of course, if the news is slow, I'll probably just do a post on my Instagram account. Wouldn't be worth the podcast if like we only get like one or two moves the whole entire week, but hopefully that doesn't happen. And of course, look out on the Phillies United Instagram page at PhilliesUnited for updates. Now, I haven't really been updating this week because I've been busy with some stuff, some schoolwork before the break, and I've been really just focusing on getting this podcast out, and this big podcast with all the things that have happened during this time this week. Now, again, Ben, thank you for coming on. Thank you for being on here weekly.
Thank you.
It's great to do this. Now, that's about it. Fans, union, let's hope the Phillies continue to have a successful offseason and hopefully land our future third baseman. Let's hope that happens. Let's cross our fingers.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. Remember to follow Ben on Instagram. It's at Ben Gendron, right? Ben.Gendron.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, follow him. Follow Phillies United. If you want to follow my main account, at Ethan.Rouch. That's my real name for those who didn't know. You can do that as well. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for the continuous support. I'm Ethan. That's Ben.
I'm Ben. And we'll see you next week.
And we'll see you next week. Remember to keep the faith always. Thank you for listening.